Sup, posers, it's me again, the kid who brags about liking everything before it's popular. Now, you guys know by now that I read a lot of manga, and that's not going to change anytime soon, but in the course of reading all the manga that I've read in the past year, which is a lot, I stumbled across a long-running Shonen Jump series that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. I've not seen anyone talk about this online. I mean, I didn't go searching it out or anything, but just every other Shonen Jump series I've seen people talk about, pretty much. Every other long-running one. I've never seen people talk about the one that I'm about to talk about, and I feel like that is a crime. Because this series is really, really good. And of course, I'm talking about Mission Yozakura Family, which finally came out on paperback. Volume 1 came out yesterday on paperback. And I'm very happy to add it to my collection because this series is really, really fun. For those of you who haven't seen this before, and I'm sure you've seen it if you have the Shonen Jump subscription, you can read all 150 chapters of Yozakura Family. I'm sure you've seen it if you go and read the chapters every Sunday. You've just seen it there. This is a really good series, and I had my doubts at first because, you know, we've had a kind of an influx of spy things, and that's what this is. It's kind of like a spy type of thing, but this is definitely distinct enough from things like Spy Family to hold its own. It absolutely stands up to those kinds of, to Spy Family at least. It absolutely stands up to Spy Family. It's just as good, if not better. It's more consistent. Its sense of humor is just as good. Its characters are better, in my opinion. It's just an incredible spy series, and it reminds me a lot of stuff like cartoons from back in the day. I'm talking like Danny Phantom, Kim Possible. It reminds me a lot of Saturday morning cartoons, and I'll explain why. Yozakura Family kind of has a lot of, like, it kind of has two sides of a coin that really work in its favor, right? Because a lot of, like, what's been popular recently on the slice of life side of anime are things like Komi Can't Communicate, like the Uzaki-chan Nagatoro, where they kind of just have assorted things happening without a real story driving it all, right? There's not like a single driving force that, like, you know, ties it all together. They just kind of like do their own thing, and it's fun to watch them do their own thing. Mission Yozakura Family, between all of these characters that you see here, it has that element, right? It has the slice of life element where they go about their daily lives as spies, sometimes fight people here and there, but really it's just a bunch of shenanigans between a bunch of different characters that are fun to watch and have their own quirks. It has that element to it. But at the same time, it also has a really, really good story behind it, and every so often it goes into that mode where it just dives into a story arc head first and goes all in on it for 10 to 20 chapters, and it's maybe sometimes longer, and it's really, really good stuff. The story behind it is actually incredible. Like, it maybe not quite the level of like the long-running shonen stuff like My Hero, Black Clover, but it's up there. It's really, really good stuff. The story behind it is simple, and the characters' motivations for it all are totally there. It all makes sense. I can't say enough good things about Yozakura Family, and even the way it introduces all these characters and our protagonist Tayo into this world of spies, really, really good. And they have special abilities in this. They're called bloomings. Those don't get introduced until a bit later, but those are good. It explains why the Yozakura Family is so important in the spy world. It's just such a complete world. The world building in this is incredible because of the slice of life and the story elements that combine to make this manga. Essentially, the setup is, so Tayo, this is our main character, Tayo, he has a crush on Mutsumi. That's this girl here. So, and he's just a high school student, regular ass guy, and he finds out that she is the head of the Yozakura family, which is basically the most notorious spy family in the world of spies. So each member of the Yozakura family have special abilities that pretty much no other family has. Maybe I don't think any other family has special abilities like this. But they're basically super fucking good at being spies, essentially. Like, they're basically ready-made spies as Yozakura kids. And Mutsumi, being the head of that family, she's actually the only one who doesn't have special abilities. She's a regular girl. As the head of the Yozakura family, she's actually the only one who can give birth to kids who will have the special Yozakura abilities. So that's why she's the head. She's protected by the other members of the family at all costs, because without her, the Yozakura, like, dynasty, the Yozakura, like, the reason why the Yozakura bloodline is so special will die out. So she needs a husband. When Taiyo basically finds out about all the spy shit, he gets roped in, and all of a sudden, he's married to his crush. And he gets trained to be a spy by the Yozakuras. Takes to it really well, and it proceeds from there. So that's the setup. If I had to pick any manga to become another, like, the next long-running anime, like Fairy Tail and Black Clover used to be, I would pick this one. For it to, like, run for a whole year or whatever. Like, this should absolutely be that manga, that anime adaptation. Like, it's just that good. And people would get excited about it every week, I think. Especially because it reminds me so much of the Saturday morning cartoons that would come on every week, right? Like, that was my shit when I was a kid, and it reminds me so much of that. Just because of the, like, it stays relaxed for a little bit, and then sometimes it goes into the story arcs. And then there's a little break in between the next story arc, and then it goes into the next one. It's just got really nice pacing. It's a really nice, fun read. The spy stuff is great. The abilities are awesome. The sense of humor is fantastic even. And the art is unbelievable. Some of the Yozakura family spreads are so good. I don't know if there are any good ones in Volume 1. I don't remember, but man, this stuff is so good. I can't say enough good things. And another reason that it reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons is because it's each member of the Yozakura family has their own, like, defining quirk about them, like their defining ability or whatever. Like, their characters are very straightforward and easy to understand. And, you know, sometimes there are little filler chapters dedicated to hanging out with specific members of the Yozakura family. Like, look at fucking what's his face with the bucket on his head. Like, why does he have a bucket on his head? Well, read the fucking manga. Because these are all like a family, it just feels really cozy to watch them interact. So, and that's what's like, you know, there's been a surge of anime like that My light just fucking gave out for no reason. There's been a surge of anime like that recently, right? Like, literally there's one that just started airing, like, More Than a Married Couple or whatever it is. And even the Step Siblings one from last season, where because they live together, they learn more about each other and that kind of thing. That's here too, where all of the members of the family, like, because they all live together, they all learn about each other, they come to understand each other, and they all come to love each other, even though this guy's a bit creepy. But you know, as it goes on, you learn more about him and that kind of thing. The backstory is really, really good, and even the arc where we are now, around the 150 mark, chapter 150 mark, is really, really good. It's just so solid all the way through. The characters are so wonderful. I can't say enough good things about Yozakura Family. It's just so much fun. And if you haven't read it, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you like spy stuff, do yourself a favor and read Mission Yozakura Family. I swear you will not regret it. It is such a fun read. Or don't, I don't care. Your loss.